All right, let's talk about something that feels, well, super intimidating for a lot of people, learning how to code. If you've ever thought about it but just got overwhelmed with where to even start, you're in the right place. We're going to break it all down and give you a simple, clear path forward.
And isn't that the truth? You know the stereotype, right? The scene in the movie where someone's in a dark room, music blasting, and just lines of neon green code are flying across the screen. It makes coding look like this genius-level activity that only a few special people can do. It's no wonder we get scared off before we even try.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Easy? No way. But stick with me here, because this is the whole point. We're not saying you'll be building the next Facebook overnight. What we are saying is that the fundamentals, the very basics of coding, they are way, way more accessible than you've been led to believe.
So here's the best way to think about it. It's like learning to write. Pretty much all of us learn how to write a sentence, a paragraph, an email. Does that mean we're all going to be the next Shakespeare? Of course not, and that's totally fine. Basic coding is a literacy. It's a skill you can learn and use even if you don't become a world-class master.
So, if the basics are actually pretty easy, why does it have this reputation? Why does it feel so overwhelmingly difficult when you first try? Let's dig into that, because those feelings of frustration, they're very real, and there are reasons for them.
This is the question that stops people in their tracks. It's so easy to start thinking, well, if this is supposed to be simple and I'm struggling, then maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But I'm telling you, that is not it. The problem isn't you. The problem is the hurdles you hit right at the beginning.
And boom, here they are. These are the 3 big reasons it feels so hard. First, just the setup is a nightmare. You're trying to install weird tools, typing things into a scary black box called the command line. You feel like you failed before you even write one line of code. Then you've got this insane number of choices, so many languages and frameworks that you just freeze up. And finally, the unfair comparisons, where you join a so-called beginner group and there are people who've clearly been doing this for years. Honestly, getting past these first steps is often the hardest part of the entire journey.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now let's talk about the solution. And it really all boils down to one simple but powerful shift in how you approach the whole thing. It all starts with asking a better question. This is the question every single beginner asks. It's the one you see all over the internet. Python? JavaScript? Should I learn this or that? It feels like this monumental decision that will define your entire future. But it's not. In fact, focusing on the language first is a trap. Here's why. Almost all programming languages use the same core ideas, things like loops and variables and functions. Once you learn those concepts in one language, picking up another one becomes so much easier. The language isn't the point. And just look at the difference here. On the left, that's the language-first path. It's a maze, right? You're learning all these abstract ideas with no idea where you're going. But look at the right. That's the project-first path. It's a clear road. Every single thing you learn has an immediate purpose because it's helping you build something real, something you actually think is cool.
So, let's talk about how to do this. This is where it gets really fun. Forget picking a language. You're going to pick a project, a small, exciting adventure that you personally want to bring to life.
The advantages here are just massive. The second you decide, I want to build a simple website, suddenly your choices get a whole lot smaller. You're no longer learning random commands. You're learning the exact tools you need to build your site. And the best part? You'll actually want to do it because you're working on something that matters to you.
And look, project is not some big, scary word. We're talking small, achievable, maybe a little text-based adventure game, or a one-page website for your hobby. Or, hey, what about a little script that automates some boring copy and paste task you have to do at work? The goal isn't to build the next Amazon. It's just to finish something and get that amazing feeling of, wow, I made that.
Okay, you've got the mindset, you've got a project idea swirling in your head, so what's next? Here it is, your simple, straight-to-the-point action plan to get you coding like today.
It's really just 3 steps. 1, pick that small project. 2, find one resource, a book, an online course, a YouTube tutorial that's focused on that kind of project. Just pick one and go. And 3, and this is the most important step of all, start building. Start tinkering before you feel like you know enough, because you'll never feel 100% ready, and that is completely normal. This might be the biggest secret in all of programming. Googling the answer when you're stuck isn't cheating. It's literally what professional programmers do all day, every day. Nobody has all this stuff memorized. Being a good programmer isn't about knowing everything. It's about being good at finding solutions. So use it. But there are a couple of ground rules to make sure you're actually learning. First rule, when you find a piece of code that solves your problem, Always, always type it out yourself. Don't just copy and paste. The simple physical act of typing it forces your brain to actually process it. You'll notice the little details, the syntax, and you'll start to build that muscle memory. It seems small, but it makes a huge difference.
And the second rule? Before you even open Google, give the problem a real shot on your own. Just try something. Because when you immediately look up an expert solution, it's often super clever and elegant, and it can make you feel like, oh, I never would have thought of that. That can be really discouraging. Your first attempt doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work.
So let's just quickly recap the whole roadmap. First, trust me, the basics of coding are easier than you think. That initial setup phase is awful, it's the worst part, just power through it. The most important question is, what project should I build, not what language should I learn? Google is your best friend, as long as you follow those 2 rules. And finally, the most important thing of all, start small and start now.
And that really just leaves one final and honestly the most exciting question. Forget all the noise about the best language or the perfect course. With this new approach, what's that one small, cool, fun thing that you are going to build first?